The Jackets are really skipping the whole early season, we're actually good excitement thing this year. Huh. In case you didn't know, the Jackets went 1-2-1 last week. Let's look into that. On Tuesday, the Jackets played the Detroit Red Wings for the second time this season, this time in Nationwide Arena. Yonas Korpisalo started in goal, but after the Jackets allowed 3 goals in the first, including a shorthanded and a power play goal, he was replaced by Sergei Bobrovsky. After a scoreless second and some great saves by Bob, Josh Anderson was able to score, followed by Marcus Nudevar about 7 minutes later. The final Jackets goal of the night was an end-to-end game-tying goal scored by Pierre-Luc Dubois before Detroit's comeback, of course. Notably, Marcus Hannikainen assisted on both Josh and Nudevar's goals. After that train wreck, the Jackets started their California road trip. All Jackets were present and accounted for on Thursday morning in San Jose, including Brand Dubinsky, who had been out for an oblique tear. Bob took the net, and the Jackets scored 4 times in a row to win 4-1 against the Sharks. Bob was in top form, making 43 saves, and Duclair, Jones, Foligno, and Anderson all scored, with Duke also notching an assist. Saturday morning started with a move, Sonny Milano going to the AHL for the first time this season, in a move that John Tortorella himself called unfair. But Brandon Dubinsky was coming back in, and someone needed to go out, so sacrifices were made. Then, that night, the Jackets played the King and lost 1-4 in a game where 2 of the goals were shorthanded, and one of them was a power play goal scored by Jeff Carter. The only Jackets goal came from Zach Werenski in the third. Low points include everything. The power play, especially defense, I guess. Nick Foligno said in a passionate postgame that it wasn't the gameplay, it wasn't the game plan. The lone Jackets goals came from Zach Werenski in the third. Low points include everything? The power play, especially. The defense, I guess, as well. Nick Foligno said in a passionate postgame that it wasn't the game plan, it wasn't the coaches, it was on the player, and it certainly seemed like it was. The only high-ish points were the Jackets getting their first fighting major of the year as captain Nick Foligno dropped the gloves with Dion Phaneuf. Marcus Hannikainen also continued to look good. But, moving right along, Saturday night the Jackets played the Ducks and lost 2-3 in overtime. Corby started because it was a back-to-back. Both Jackets goals were scored by Pierre-Luc Dubois, and both were assisted by Seth Jones. Besides scoring both the Jackets goals, Dubois also saved the team by taking enough penalties that we were almost never on the power play. So, I guess that's one way to counteract the team's dangerously bad power play. Also of note, for the first time ever in Jackets history, we allowed a D-man to get a hat trick. Yay for records. Of note in general for this week, it's been a pretty good week for Torts commentary. On Halloween, John Tortorella said that if Bob was signed, sealed, and delivered and had a 3-year deal, then he probably would have played Bob to start the Detroit game and the Buffalo game that Saturday. That's a lot, mostly because it's more honest than I thought we'd ever get, especially from Torts, and also because it shows the Jackets brass is really thinking about what we're going to do if nothing changes with Bob and he either gets traded or walks. He also said that the whole situation with the Jackets is due to a lack of confidence, something that he has said before and that I agree with. After every period, Allison Lukin posts CBJ shot maps, and when you look at that and you see they're barely taking any shots, or that they're taking them but only in low or no danger areas, it really shows that there's something there. Speaking of bad shooting, let's talk about the power play for a second. The Jackets officially have the worst power play in the league at 10.7. Yeah, that's really bad. But not only is it not as bad as last year's waiting until December to have a power play percentage that was even in the 10s, I also don't think it's a problem with the players in the power play. I still think our units are pretty good and that they should be producing, but once again, I think it's something about the confidence of those players during the power play. And that'll be it for this one. Thank you a ton for watching. Hit that like if you liked this. Click subscribe if you loved it. I'm Lydia. This is Cannon Fire. And thank goodness California's done with.